Robin McLaurin Williams, born July 21st, 1951, in Chicago, Illinois. He gave the world some of its biggest smiles, and on August 11, 2014, the world cried together when he was gone. He wasn't just an actor or comedian. He was a force of nature, a man who could turn sadness into joy with a single line, a man who made even animated characters feel human. But what happens when you try to speak to a man like that after he's gone? We wanted to find out, and that's how we ended up one cool autumn night, sitting in a candlelit room with a psychic, asking her to reach Robin Williams. The room was small, the kind of room that feels too quiet when everyone stops talking. We shut the curtains and let the outside world disappear. For candles flickered on the table, their flames bending and swaying, making the shadows on the walls dance like silent observers. The psychic sat across from us, her hands folded gently on a faded blue tablecloth. She spoke softly. Before we begin, she said, "You have to focus on him. Think about the way he made you laugh. Think about the sound of his voice. If his spirit is close, he will come nearer." So we did. I closed my eyes and thought the first time I heard him. The unstoppable, electric energy of the genie in Aladdin. I thought of him standing on a desk in Dead Poets Society, telling his students to seize the day. I thought of Shaun in Good Will Hunting, soft-spoken, kind, showing a broken young man how to heal. And as I thought of him, the air began to change. It grew heavier, like someone had just stepped into the room and was standing right behind us. My palms began to sweat against the tablecloth. Then I felt it, a chill running down my spine, brushing the back of my neck. The psychic's head tilted suddenly, as though she heard something no one else could. "He's here," she said quietly. Her lips curled into a smile that didn't quite seem like her own, too wide, too playful. "He's talking fast," she said with a faint laugh. "He's making impressions, bouncing from voice to voice like a storm of characters." And she chuckled suddenly. "He says this scarf I'm wearing looks like something Mrs. Doubtfire would wear." We all laughed, nervously, but it was real. And in that moment, it almost felt like he was there in the room, laughing with us. But the mood shifted in an instant. The psychic's smile faded. Her shoulders slumped, as if weighed down by something heavy. "He's quieter now," she whispered. "He's talking about the silence after the crowd leaves, about how lonely that silence could be. He says people never saw that part of him." Her words landed like stones in my chest. The air turned cold enough that I could see my breath. One of the candle flames bent sharply, as if brushed by an invisible hand. The psychic's voice grew even softer. "He says he wants to thank you. All of you. He says every laugh, every cheer, every smile. They kept him alive longer than anyone ever knew." I felt my throat tighten, but she wasn't done. "There's something else," she said, her eyes still closed. "He says not to wait. Don't wait to tell the people you love that you love them. Don't wait to make them laugh. Don't wait to sit with them when they are quiet. Do it now." And then one of the candles blew out on its own. No breeze, no open window. The psychic opened her eyes slowly, tears glistening. "He's gone," she said. For a long moment, we just sat there in silence, the three remaining flames flickering like stars. Later, when we finally spoke, we asked her what she thought had just happened. "If that wasn't him," she said gently, "then something wanted you to hear that message. Something wanted you to remember to keep laughing and to look after the ones who hide their pain the best." That night, I went home and put on Dead Poets Society. I had seen it many times before, but that night it felt different. When Robin stood on that desk and told his students to seize the day, it was like he was speaking straight to me, not as a character, not as an actor, but as someone reaching across time to tell me, "Life is short. Say what you need to say. Live while you can." And I cried, not just because the movie was sad, but because it felt like a friend had just told me goodbye. And maybe that's the strange thing about what we experienced. Even if we didn't truly speak to Robin Williams' spirit, something real happened in that room. We left the table as different people, quieter, softer, more careful with one another. We hugged a little longer. We smiled a little more. We promised to check in on the friends who seemed fine, because that's what it felt like he wanted. For us to remember that laughter isn't just entertainment, it's survival. And maybe that's the real seance. Not candles, not psychics, not flickering lights. But every time we choose to create light for someone else in the middle of their darkness. So tonight, before you leave this video, do one thing for me. Send a message to someone you love. Tell them how much they mean to you. Share a joke. Sit with them in the quiet. Because if Robin Williams was really with us that night, if his spirit truly crossed the space between here and there, I think that's exactly what he wanted us to do. And maybe that's how we keep him alive. Not through seances, not through ghost stories, but through every laugh we share, every kind word we speak, every quiet moment we refuse to ignore. If this story touched you, let us know in the comments. Share what Robin Williams meant to you. Send this to someone who could use a smile tonight, and subscribe, because there are more stories like this waiting to be told. And maybe, just maybe, we'll hear another voice next time.